Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Grimworks Productions Warhammer 40k, 30k, and AOS podcast. My name is Roman and I have
John.
And this is episode number 4 of Perils of the Warp. So, how's it going, guys? Better late than ever. We're a little bit late than we usually would be. But you can just blame it on 8th edition. We've been having too much fun with it, to be honest with you.
I've been playing some games, making some mistakes, figuring out what we've been doing wrong.
Yeah. It's all a learning curve. It's one big ass learning curve. For somebody that didn't know 7th edition quite that well. I mean, I played it for 2 years, 3 years?
2 years.
And I got in minimal games. So I didn't know it too well, but 8th edition's kind of like a glove. It just kind of fits the way it should. And there's some things that are weird about it, but for the most part, pretty awesome. And me and John have played 2 games at least together against each other. We've played a 100-point power level, and then we played a 2,000 points. And 2,000 points is
a lot.
Hard. It's a lot, but it's kind of hard to really put in a list. You know what I mean? I find it really hard in terms of and maybe it's because I'm coming from 7th edition. I'm kind of trying to push that baggage onto 8th, where I'm trying to fit in things that I normally could, but because of the whole you have to pay for every weapon and blah blah blah, it's kind of a problem for me. But I think I made a decent list last time. The power game was terrible. That power game, I got taken out so quickly. My rolls were terrible that whole game. I think I whiffed on how many plasma shots? 2 each. I had 6, so about 12, 15 shots of plasma, including my apothecary, and I whiffed on most of them. And the ones that I did hit with didn't wound. So it was on that particular game that was bad. But John's been taking to 8th like a fish in water.
Yeah, even though I can't tell him. But I don't know. I did a lot of complaining about what demons were gonna be like, and I still have my issues. But it turned out that they're pretty fun. Especially in close combat. You know, I mean they're getting shot to shit like they always have. But once you get them into close combat, I was playing Bellicor, so he was letting everybody reroll their wounds because he's not aligned to any one god, so his aura ability affects everybody no matter what mark they have. So he was going around the field, and I was getting more use out of his ability and his spellcasting than him in actual close combat. I think I took down your flyer in a charge, but for the most part,
yeah,
I was using that aura and those spells to beef up my my army.
Yeah. And Psychic's like in a whole other beast on itself. Alright, so movement pretty much stayed the same, except that now, unit type is pretty much gone. Unit movement is gone. So now everything has a specific movement. And it's harder with my particular flyer since I play Dark Angels primarily. I don't have the Dark Talon, which apparently is what everybody thinks is the best, because it can actually hover, and it has that Rift Cannon that causes mortal wounds, so that's a big deal. But I just have the Nephilim, because that's what I had in 7th, and that was the better choice out of those. But the Nephilim has kind of suffered, and thanks to the errata, is even worse. I used to have, in 7th edition, Nephilim used to have 6 Black Sword missiles, and they were one-time use only. In 8th edition, it's not one-time use only, so it is a gun that I can use repeatedly. The only thing is, it was heavy 2 at the start, and thanks to the errata that's happened in the FAQ, they've moved it down to heavy 1. So now it's even more worthless, to be honest with you. It's not a great flyer. The fact that it doesn't have, supersonic or whatever the hell it's called.
It does have supersonic, so it has to.
Oh, so it has to move in a 90 degree instead of just kind of
going wherever it wants.
Yeah. And it severely handicaps it. I mean, it's great that the Avengers Mega Bolter has 10 shots or something like that, which is better than las cannons, because las cannons aren't as not as useful as they once were. So now with Avengers Sword, or the Black Sword, I'm sorry, it's just I honestly don't even know if it's ever worth taking now.
Yeah, I mean, I played against it, and I didn't think the 2 missile shots per turn was overpowered.
No.
Yeah, I didn't really see a reason to bring it down to 1.
Yeah, but Dark Angels are kind of in a weird place. They are the only ones to have a Jink, but the Jink is only if you advance. So only if I move, which is cool, I can move 20 inches in advancement altogether, and I get a 5+ invulnerable on top of that. But that's not as useful as you would think, just because most of the time the 3-up's just good enough, and they have 2 wounds each now, so that's good.
Yeah, and then when you advance, you give up shooting and attacking.
So it's really hard for them. They are now more objective, and then with the FAQ, they clarified movement, and bikes can only be on the bottom floor of ruins. So it's not that big a deal, but now I can't get any advantage in terms of like getting on top of a building or we played a membership game for Red Star against Trent. So Trent.
Hi, Trent.
Yeah, he's now a member of Red Star officially. And there was the helicopter.
Landing pad.
The landing pad. There was that, and I moved my bikes on top of there, and he was the one that told me that I don't know if that's right the way that happens. You can't go on top of it. You can't be on the second floor or something. And I was like, I thought you could. You just had to take into account like every movement, basically.
3 inches up and 3 inches across.
Apparently, that's not the case. Unless it has fly, it does not matter. Which is cool, because jump packs can still reach the top of buildings. That's fluffy. So it makes fluff sense. It's just game sense. Bikes are kind of getting shafted. Bikes in general, which is good because it prevents that kind of spam. But when bikes are the best thing about Dark Angels, it's kind of hard to make a real competitive list, in my opinion. But other than that, Azrael, which I had to make a model of because I just saw how good he is, and he gives everybody a 4-inch invulnerable, so that's really, really good. He just lets it out. He just done a thing, and I found out how good Tech Marines were in this edition. They kept my Dark Shroud, which is by far the best piece for Dark Angels, pretty much all together. The Dark Shroud gives a 6-inch bubble of -1 to shoot against anybody in that bubble. So that's really, really helpful. And apparently, unless it was addressed in the FAQ, which I didn't read all of, you can still stack that. But the thing is, I gotta wait until an actual codex comes out to see what goes on there. So I probably
I did read that. Something about stacking rules today. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Hey guys, Roman here. Trying to fill up dead air while John reads the FAQ. How's it going out there? Remember, if you want to communicate with us, you can always leave a comment if you're listening on YouTube down below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe there. Also, if you're listening on SoundCloud, go ahead and give us a little heart. We appreciate it. And if you're listening on iTunes, go ahead and rate, review, subscribe there. You can also email us at citypod88@gmail.com. Eric, citypod88@gmail.com. And in the title, you can put 40K. John?
So, the question. Lots of aura abilities say they grant an ability to nearby units that are within range of any such models. Are the bonuses cumulative? I.e., if I am within range of 2 models with identical aura abilities, is the bonus doubled? Answer. Unless stated otherwise, no. The bonus for such an ability applies once, if any, i.e. 1 or more, of these models are within range. So, if you have, let's say, a captain that lets you reroll 1s, and you have another character that lets you reroll any misses at all, you wouldn't do both abilities. You would just take the one that you choose. But if you have a captain that lets you reroll ones and a character lets you reroll misses, not misses, wounds, then you can reroll your ones to hit and then reroll your failed wounds because both abilities are different, so they stack together.
Which is what I've been trying to figure out. The one thing with Dark Angels is that they have captains in the form of what they call company masters. The only thing is that these company masters cannot be on a bike. While regular Space Marines can take a captain on a bike, my company masters cannot take bikes. The best thing that they can do is they can go on foot, they can be in Terminator armor, and they can have a jump pack, honestly. So that's cool, they can have a jump pack, so they have some pretty good movement there. But it's kind of... it just sucks that he can't take a... I, for some reason, can't take a bike, even though if it's... I don't even have like a Raven Wing equivalent to that.
But I mean, still, a jump pack has the same range as a bike, so...
Yeah. So, well, a bike is 14 inches, and a jump pack, I think, is 12. So, yeah, about the same.
Yeah.
And it's a 6-inch bubble, so it's really not a big deal. But the thing is, that's the best that they can do. And then that captain, or company master, lets me reroll wounds of 1. While Samael, I believe, lets me reroll hits. So if they're within range of each other, basically, they could get rerolls of 1s on both of those, which is good. I've tried it out, sort of, and it works in theory, but I haven't put it in a game yet. The one thing that I am interested in is putting a Tech Marine on a bike, because one of the big things is land speeders. Land speeders are super expensive now. I think for the way that I have them kitted out, which is heavy bolters and cyclone missile launchers, it's 145 points. Damn. And I take 3, and just take a whole squad. So 145 times 3 is what? I'm not good at math, but I'm assuming
4
around 460, somewhere around there.
Well, probably a bit less, probably just over 400.
So a little over 400. We'll agree to that. So it's a lot. And when they take a wound, nothing necessarily happens to them, but they take a wound and it's super hard to keep them out of range of a lot of stuff at that point, because the missile launchers have 48 range and heavy bolters have 36. So if I want to get it both, I have to keep within 36, and they can get pretty fucked up easy. But thanks to a Tech Marine, no matter what, if I'm within 1 inch, and I think I can position it to where basically he's horizontal and the other guys are kind of like, right in front of him, that they should all be within 1 inch.
Well, the 3 land speeders are a unit, so he only has to be within 1 inch of...
I thought it was the model.
Is it the model?
I think it's model. I think specifically it's the way they worded it. And they get D3 back, which is good, because in the game that it was a free-for-all between Trent, John, and I, and because of that Tech Marine, I was able to keep my Dark Shroud alive until the end of the game, which is really good. I
was like, I don't really feel like a -1 to hit's gonna make a big difference. Turns out, folks, I was fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's completely a big deal. And especially if... Okay, now here's the thing. Cumulatively, if, let's say, a heavy weapon from an opposing... my enemy, let's say it's a heavy, right? And they already get a -1 to shoot. Because they're a Dark Shroud, they're at -2 to shoot.
Yes, that's 2 different rules.
So that's 2 different rules. So that still works. So that means, let's say a Devastator squad will be hitting on 3-ups. It's now hitting on 5-ups. That's a big fucking deal. So Dark Shrouds are easily the, best thing in the Dark Angels. Besides Azrael, which gives you the invulnerable saves within the 6-inch bubble. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Samael's a beast in fucking close combat now. Especially if he gets a charge off. He's ×2 strength, which means he's strength 8. re-rolling his misses. Oh, okay, so I got that wrong. Company Master lets you re-roll wounds of 1, and Samael's re-rolls of 1 in the fight phase, as well as Dark Angels within. But Samael's a beast because he took down in the second game that me and John had. I took out his, what was it? Was it your Lord on a jump pack? No, it was your jump pack squad.
Yeah.
It was a little 5-man jump pack squad that tried to attack Samael. Because of his invulnerable save, he was able to really keep himself alive. And then he swung back, and in one hit, took out 4 of them. And there was only 1 left, so I was like, okay, I'll just clean that up. And when I cleaned that up, I was able to move in range of the Lord that you had in a jump pack, who was fighting my Apothecary. And surprisingly, Apothecary, the hardest thing about an Apothecary now is remember that fucking rule. It's the hardest thing to remember. I have to give myself a visual cue of something to make sure that I do not... I don't miss that, because that's now a pretty big deal now, and I would like to be sure to not, forget about it.
I play Iron Hands, and I love Tech Marines. I love, the Mechanicum lore and all that. And one of the things I wanted to do for Tech Marines on bikes, because they're so heavy with that big-ass backpack, on eBay, they actually have Space Marine trikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess some dude makes them, and they come out. They look pretty cool. So I wanted to get some for my Tech Marines on bikes.
I had an idea for conversion. Maybe this isn't the best to talk about visuals on an audio podcast, but just stay with me, people. So the cool new oval bases, which, by the way, for bikes, oval bases are the way to go. They make your shit look better. Honestly, you can put them in different kind of angles so that they look really cool. But the way I was thinking about it was getting a regular Space Marine bike. I was going to keep it red because the whole lore behind the Tech Marines is that they go off for training on Mars, but they'll eventually come back, but they take on the scheme of the Mechanicum, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he's still going to be red, so is his bike. He's going to be Ravenwing specifically because I plan to start working on my BA soon, my Blood Angels. But I'm going to keep him red, and I'm going to get the GW version because there's the Forge World version, which has just the 1 arm. Have you seen it?
It's
the Heresy. They have a Horus Heresy version.
Well, the 40k Tech Marine, you have to choose whether you want to kit it with 1 arm or 2. 1 arm, all it does is 6 vehicles, and it's times 2 in close combat. But with 2 arms, you have, at least in 7th, you had an extra attack. But it also came with the flamethrower and the plasma cutter. Okay. So in 40k, you have both models, 1 arm and 2.
Okay. Well, what I was thinking was I was going to get the GW model and just get like a regular Space Marine bike, then put him on there, and I was going to put on a regular backpack. And what I was going to do is I was just going to make some of the coils, that you see on a lot of stuff, or if I can just smack some off of there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take because the big backpack is kind of like a square. What I was going to do was put that on the back of the seat so that it covers the back of the seat. Then I would have wires going to it. So theoretically, when he has to get off the bike, he'll just I was gonna put the legs that have like that little calculator looking thing. He'll put in a code and then it'll jump back on his back and he'll just fucking start running to battle. Which I thought in my head, I'm trying to visualize how that would look. It's not look anything like that fucking on the actual tabletop. But I just thought that would be cool to it would look cool visually. So that's what I'm trying to do. Once I have some more cash, I'll probably do that.
I had a conversion I was thinking of, where I take an attack bike and instead of putting in a secondary gunner, you put in the servo arm on the side.
Ah, okay, yeah. Attack bike's got an extra attack. That's good. I don't know why they took away an attack from 7th to 8th.
It's probably just a typo.
Yeah. But yeah. So what are your thoughts on Chaos in general? I mean, 8th edition, you've now played a few more games more than me, but what's your take on Chaos? Let's break that. I know you can only really attest to, I think, Korn and Nurgles, which you've been playing.
No, Korn and Zinch.
Korn and
actually.
Zinch, okay.
The moment I got the 3 Imperium boxes, the Nurgle half, I traded away all my Plague Marines, so okay. I didn't even think to like, maybe I should wait till I have all this shit put together and painted. I just like, nope, don't want them anymore. These new ones are too pretty.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I played Thousand Suns, which I mean they're still as good as they've ever been. Better, I think, because that -2 AP works against anything. If it's a 2-up save, I'm bringing you down to a 4.
Yeah.
Whereas in 7th edition, AP of 3 mowed through Marines, but if I went up against Terminators, then I was just as useless as any other Marine.
Yeah.
So now, no matter what their armor save, I'm bringing them down by 2.
That's nice. That's really good.
The Sorcerer currently can only do Smite, but I mean, still, that's mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So, the Berserkers are fucking fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah, I've actually been playing 2 units of Raptors and a unit of Warp Talons with Berserkers, Karn, a Chaos Lord with Twin Lightning Claws, and then if I need more points, I would throw in the Bloodletters and Demon Prince.
Okay.
And then Terminators, because I had a bunch of Terminators and with nothing to do with them because I didn't really like Chaos Terminators in 7th edition.
Yeah. I agree. Well, after seeing what you can do with them at the send off for 7th, I was like, well, they're not as bad as I once thought, but yeah, they're just expensive. That was a big thing.
So I had the Raptors and the Warp Talons set up for my Khorne Demonkin because that was one of the requirements to take their special detachment, where you get the Blood Tithe points every turn. Yeah. And I wanted to take the Helldrake, so the only way to take the Helldrake, you needed the Raptors and Warp Talons. So I was like, alright, these things are already ready to go. They're already Khorne, so I might as well just try them out. And dropping in to just outside of 9 inches, I almost never felt that charge. Completely. I mean, some of them didn't make it into combat, but when I had 2 units of Terminators, 2 units of Raptors, and a unit of Warp Talons dropping in, at least half of that, rounding down or up, whatever, was going to get in and tie up some shit.
Yeah.
So, and then my Berserkers and Bloodletters will just come in and clean up from the other side. So I've been really enjoying my World Eaters list very much. But I'm trying right now. Before we started this, I was working on building the Nurgle half of the starter box. So I can't wait to fucking get that on the table.
Yeah. They always did look very nice. They're head and shoulders. These are some of the best models that they've come up with so far. Alright, so you've played Khorne and you've played Tzeentch. You haven't played Nurgle?
Not yet.
Not yet, but what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Now that we know, thanks to that FAQ, they're the only units in all of the game that can shrug off mortal wounds, which is fluffy as fuck.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think. I mean, that Feel No Pain was always a force to be reckoned with. I think now they're probably a little bit better. Than they were before.
No, they're way better.
The Poxwalkers are 1,000 times better than zombies were in 7th. They have great fucking rules. Typhus gives them +1 toughness and strength.
Yeah.
As long as the unit's 10 or more, they're hitting at a +1. Every time they kill a model, doesn't have to be a character or a whole unit, they get another zombie added to them.
Nice.
And then the fucking little bell guy.
Oh, the noxious.
Yeah, the noxious something. He lets them roll 2 dice for advancing, and discard the lowest, which they need because they don't shoot. So
yeah,
and they only have a 5-inch movement. and then he lowers leadership of enemy units within a certain amount of inches of, I believe, either himself, which might not be the greatest thing, but I actually think it's a unit within 3 inches of him.
Okay.
So if he's behind the zombies and you're in front of the zombies, I think the zombies are affecting your unit, not him. As far as distance, distance drawn. So yeah, I think Plague Marines are going to be a fucking force to be reckoned with.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just salty that they can shrug off mortal wounds, but I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, fluff-wise, which is what they're really coming from, it looks like in 8th edition, it makes sense. So
the only thing that sucks is that there's no more Nurgle bikers.
Yeah. You might get them back. Though.
Maybe later.
You might get them back because they haven't revealed everything, so they might bring you some.
And but actually, losing the Nurgle bikers wasn't as devastating to me as losing the obliterators. No more Nurgle obliterators.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
Yeah, because I mean, Nurgle has always been, Plague Marines have always been so very close combat oriented with their extra attack and their poisoned blades and their feel no pain. They were made for close combat. But in the time that it would take my guys to get into close combat, I was always shooting shit from the back line with obliterators. And obliterators got excellent fucking rules in 8th edition.
Yeah.
I can't take them.
Yeah, but I mean, you can take them in any other list. That's good. They're not completely useless. They might need a new paint job, but
yeah, I have a lot of Iron Warriors, so I'll probably paint them up as Iron Warriors.
There you go. So you see, nothing's necessarily lost.
Yeah.
And you only had like one little squad of.
I had
bikes?
actually the bikes. Yeah, I only had one squad of bikes.
Okay.
So that wasn't like the biggest thing for me. It was a good little unit though. I ran the 3 bikes, but I would run them with the sorcerer on the Pelican of Nurgle, who also had 12-inch movement. Yeah. So it was a tough little unit because I would always take Biomancy on him. So it was a real survivable unit.
Yeah, for sure. And what about what are your thoughts on Slaanesh? Because Slaanesh is my baby. Like, I love Slaanesh.
Demonettes are fucking amazing.
Okay.
Just regular Demonettes. You take a unit of 20. You take Be'lakor, because he can give the boost to anybody. So you take 20 Demonettes, 20 Bloodletters, and Be'lakor between the 2 of them to give him the failed rerolls. And you're gonna have a very fast, very deadly, fucking little. What do you call that? Where you take a lot of models?
Blob.
Yeah, I mean a blob. But what is it? What is that type of army? Like the IG army when you take all the.
Swarm.
A swarm, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a very devastating swarm army with Bloodletters and Demonettes.
Demonettes are hard to get a hold of now, though, right?
I think so.
I think they're fairly hard to get a hold of.
That's because nobody wanted them in 7, so like I guess they didn't get produced as well.
Yeah. Okay. And what about my favorite, my Noise Marines? How are those guys doing?
So next week on Perils of the Warp.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of Slaanesh, and it just sucks that he just keep getting shafted. It doesn't matter what system, they're getting shafted in it.
Lucius fucking sucks.
Yeah.
He is terrible. Noise Marines are probably about as good base-wise as they've ever been. Obviously, you take their noise weapons for the ignores cover and the multiple shots. That hasn't changed. The one thing that really, really, really fucked them up is their Icon of Excess no longer grants them feel no pain. Now it grants them something that I don't even remember because it sucks that bad.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Slaanesh. I love Slaanesh. I love the Emperor's Children. They're the only Chaos army that I would actually play, and they're not getting any love. I hope that I hope that's changed soon, but I doubt it. I think honestly,
I don't know. It just seems like GW isn't showing very much love to Slanesh. I know we all heard the rumor that they wanted to get rid of him entirely because they wanted the game to be more kid friendly, and Slanesh is all about, you know, sex and depravity and over drinking and overeating.
Yeah.
And my response to that is, what kid do you know that can fucking afford to play 40K? Because I'm almost 30 and I still can't afford to play 40K.
I guess it's just they always do want to aim it at the
younger demographic.
At the youngest demographic they can. But I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is, are they gonna read a lot of the fluff? Probably not until they're older. Now the models, I mean, I guess you can have like you can have some options in the kit that would cover up the 6 titties for demonettes or stuff, but I don't think that should be, taken away just because they want to aim it towards a younger demographic.
You know how you got a young John to notice things? You put boobies on it.
That's true. I watched, what was it? Toxic Avenger 2 on a loop because I knew there was going to be big Asian titties. And I was like, hey, I'm down with this. So, that's the thing, is it sucks that they do get shafted so hard. I'm hoping that they can do that, but honestly, the way it's looking, they're gonna roll out some more Nurgle, which I'm completely fine with. You know, I can't wait to see what Mortarion actually looks like.
Oh my god, Mortarion!
Because Mortarion is coming. There's no doubts about that. I wish that Slanesh was next, but I really don't think so. They're probably going to do more things with Khorne because, of course, fucking everybody loves Khorne.
You know, actually, what I would like to see, as much as I want either Khorne or Fulgrim to follow Mortarion, is for them to show some love to some of the traitor legions that aren't affiliated with the god. Because
and all that kind of stuff.
In 7th edition, it was all about those four factions.
Yeah.
You know, until the very... Oh my god, they pissed me off so much when they did that. Until the very end of 7th edition, when they didn't even tell you, hey, you can buy all this great stuff and make all these great paint schemes, but in 3 months, we're going to take away all these new cool rules we're giving you.
Yeah.
They showed no love whatsoever to any of the factionless traitor legions. You know, bring fucking Perturabo or fucking... I don't even know the others.
Perturabo, Kurz is dead.
Yeah, Conrad Kurz is...
Conrad Kurz is the Night Lords. No.
Dude, bring fucking Alfarius Omegon. I want to see 2 fucking Primarchs standing on one base.
Well, isn't one of them dead?
Yeah, supposedly. Supposedly. But I mean, we thought Loken was dead until we...
until we got some news from good old Trent. Not to spoil that here, mainly because I don't remember it, but there's something there. That's the thing is, as much as I'm upset that, you know, some of the armies that I like aren't as good, it's still overall really good. I'm just hoping that maybe those get flushed out a bit more. Just for the fact that I'm not even gonna fucking talk about Dark Angels. Dark Angels are where they're at. My other army is Blood Angels. They're not in a great place, but they do have some interesting stuff. Like, if you want to maybe run like Death Company, Azeroth has gotten better. I think it's Azeroth is his name. He's gotten way better, and he has that cool kind of chart for, it's called the Mass of Death, or like Choir of Death, something like that. And every time, I think it's every turn you roll on that, and 1 is bad, 6 is God, and 2 through 5 is okay. But for the most part, Blood Angels are kind of in the sort of in the same boat. They don't have necessarily anything that stands out. Mephiston's pretty much the same, except he can deny 2 powers, psychic powers. The same one within 24 as everybody, or 1 within 12 inches. So he has half distance and full distance, which is cool. I don't know. I've heard, and hopefully in my next game I can play some Dreadnoughts. But, I have the Librarius Dreadnought, and I have the Furiosa for my Blood Angels. So I'm thinking about maybe building some Primaris for the attack and get, my Mephiston conversion, because that Mephiston model is fucking terrible. I don't like the dude bro collar. That's not my thing. But when it comes to Blood Angels, I just want to kind of see where it's going. I think Blood Angels, I don't know if I'm going to go with the Successor chapter or just regular BA, because I kind of like Flesh Terriers as well. And Gabriel Seth is actually pretty cool too. He has like a... I wish I can remember the rules, and I wish I had the book in front of me, but it is not here. It's in my car, and I'm not going outside because we're recording. But I'm interested in now working on BA, at least getting a small little army together and kind of seeing, because I think with everything that I got, including a regular attack squad and then some of the Primaris stuff, I should have a good, at bare minimum, 15-point list, like 1,500 points, which is good. But what are your thoughts on the power level and points?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that, because I was just thinking about the game I had with Tony.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying that there's not a big difference between power level and point.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're playing an army like Tony's, and I'm not sure how many armies are out there like his, I think Tyranids, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's playing Inari, and he's playing Harlequin Heavy Inari. So his basic 5-man troop, every single model in that 5-man to however many man he wants it troop can be customizable. Whereas in Marines, only your captain's customizable.
Yeah.
You get one special weapon, one heavy weapon. With a troop, they can all have the most powerful weapons available to the codex. They can all take AP3 damage D3 pistols. They can all take AP2 damage 2 swords.
And on top of that, aren't they super fast?
Yes, they move 8 inches. The whole army has a 4-up invulnerable save. So on an army like his, where every single model is super customizable, power level is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Because he'll be at 50 power level, which would normally be about, 800 points or so.
It'd probably be close to 1,000.
Close to 1,000?
Close to 1,000 points.
Well, with all the customization he can do, he'll probably be at 1,500.
Huh.
Paying 15 to 30 points for these badass weapons, he no longer has to pay because it's included in the power level.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. If you're playing Marines, there's no difference between power level and points. If you're playing
Xenos.
if you're playing Xenos, I mean Tyranids. I know Tyranids. They have a lot of options like Bone Claws, Rending Claws, Acid Spitters. So they'll probably benefit a little bit more from power level. Not that me or anybody that I really play with regularly plays Tyranids, so I haven't been able to see them in action, but...
I'm more interested to see really how orcs are in this, because I haven't seen too many orc players, just in general. I haven't seen too many battle reports with orcs either, so I don't know how they actually are. It seems like they would benefit a lot from these roles, especially in close combat. They're always just the number of attacks is so much. I'm wondering if that maybe comes into play with orcs now. I think orcs are in the Xenos book that Tony has, correct?
I
think it's in that.
No.
It's
that book has Eldar, Dark Eldar, Harlequin, Inari, and Necrons.
Oh, okay, so those are the 5, and then the other one. Okay.
The other one has the rest.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I kind of want to see orcs and how they do. I'm just kind of excited for everybody because it seems like everybody is now viable. Some are clearly head and shoulders above the rest, but Harlequins are probably in the top 5 now. But it's good to see that everybody now has a fighting chance. including Dark Angels. I do harp on it, but that's just out of love. But I don't understand some of the things that they do, but they still have a fighting chance. It's just a matter of actual gameplay and how I now have to change my strategy in terms of whatever I'm going to play. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited to start my my Necrons. To start playing them because I only played them a few times in 7th. They were very overpowered army with a high survivable rate, survivability rate with their reanimation protocols and all that. Now, reanimation protocols works differently. You can do it for every slain model in a unit, and on a 5 or 6 it comes back to life. There's some really cool rules for it. Me and Jay actually we're talking about getting a game in because he's still practicing with his Ultramarines, which are really good. In fact, play of the week it's gonna go to Jay Pena.
Okay.
I dropped in 2 units of Raptors, units of Warp Talons, 2 units of Terminators on his side of the field. All of them on my right, which is his left. And in my head, I was just gonna sweep his fucking army because he had it spread out in a line. Basically, he had a gun line of just Marines. Like nothing was behind. No Marine was behind another Marine except for his characters. Okay. It was just a straight line. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna start at one side and fucking tear it through until I get to the other. Yeah. And it worked on turn 1. And then he had chapter ancients, so every time I killed a Marine, he got to shoot with it. Yeah. And instead of shooting at the people who were charging him, he would do all those extra shots at my berserkers, which were on my side of the table, having to fucking walk in. And so he actually ended up annihilating most of my berserkers before I could even get anywhere near charging range because of those chapter ancients. Because I was killing so many dudes and they just kept shooting at my berserkers. And then, so, play of the week, I have my berserkers, I'm trying to get closer. I have Karn behind the berserkers, nice and safe. And he flies his Storm Talons, both of them, to my side of the table, so that the nearest model to them is Karn. And because you can now fire from any point on the base, he shot 24 shots per Storm Talon at AP -1 at Karn. Karn's a beast. He don't like getting shot at though. Yeah. Especially not with 48 fucking bullets. Jeez. So he went down. He went down hard.
Good shit, Jay. That's what I like to see. I like to hear about crushing John's Karn because I was never able to do that. Yeah, it's just, man. 8th edition is now like where I'm like, I think I can start getting in regular games now because now it's not as hard to understand. I don't feel like an idiot playing against people that are clearly better than me.
Yeah, now they suck just as bad as we do.
We're on the same level.
Yeah, me and Jay made a lot of mistakes, and there was some other dude. He's just like, oh, y'all doing that wrong, and we're like, oh, fuck. And Jay's been playing for 20 years, so he's just as up in the air about the rules as we are.
But eventually he's going to surpass us. It'll probably be this week or something. Later on this week, he'll be like, oh, okay, I've got it. But yeah. My next list that I'm planning is actually going to be Green Wing. I want to see Tactical Marines, very few bikes, if any at all, and of Raven Wing in general, and Death Wing in general. I kind of want to focus on Green Wing. I kind of want to see how that really works. How the new the Hulkbuster assault guys, what are they called? Interceptors.
Oh, okay.
The Hulkbusters.
Well, like Centurions? I thought you couldn't take Centurions.
God, I want Centurions. What? Alright, GW, come on. I know you're listening. GW, come on. What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure GW is not listening to us. I'm pretty sure, I'm more than certain now, that they will fucking hate us. Because there was that guy who had that website where you can build your army point-wise. Yeah. And it was real easy to use, and they gave him a cease and desist real fucking quick.
Yes.
And our podcast name is Perils of the Warp. So as soon as they figure that out, we need to start fucking figuring out what the next name for our podcast is going to be.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But GW, come on. Why can't I take Centurions? Why can't I take Storm Ravens? Come on. It's the 41st millennium, bro. Why can't I get this stuff? We know that fucking Rebooty, God, I hate that name. Fucking
so bad.
Bobby G doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's just like, take whatever you want. Why can't Dark Angels fucking take Centurions? It just makes no sense.
You gave fucking Primaris Marines to everybody.
Yeah, you gave fucking Primaris, which we're not even supposed to take because it's now part of your fucking gene seed. It's not ours. And fucking, you gave us those, but you won't give us fucking armor. You won't give us fucking other flyers that can hover and be cool. But I guess that's why I have BA. BA can take all that shit. Except for Centurions. I think they can still take it.
You can take the Storm Raven.
Why? Why can't they take them?
I do want to have a moment of silence for the Plague Reaper of Nurgle, because it did not get rules in Imperial Armor.
Alright, RIP, let's have a moment of silence starting now. Thank you for joining us.
Apparently, there are some other models, like the Sonic Dreadnought, which was the Emperor's Children Dreadnought. It had noise weapons. Didn't get rules. So, Chaos, fucking us in the ass once again.
Yeah, Chaos. Dark Angels, Blood Angels. I haven't heard much on. I have not seen anybody play Space Wolves. Like, even in the slightest, have I heard anything about Space Wolves. Something tells me they're not that great. Something is telling me that
they're just, right now, without a codex of their own, they're just really expensive Marines.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So.
The cool thing is that Cousin Matt's coming back from college.
Awesome.
Any day now. And I'm going to get to play against Grey Knights. So we'll see how that works out.
Hopefully they suck.
I hope they don't.
Honestly, I think they're honestly pretty good.
2 Wound Terminators. Everybody's a psychic.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to. There has to be something there. I haven't read all the rules. To be honest with you, I'm just feverishly working on DA and BA, so I haven't really delved into the rest of what everybody can take. But come on, Iron Hands. You need a IC. Or not IC. You just need a character. You need a named character. Yeah. You don't have any. Now, I know what people are saying. Only idiots take named characters. I don't care. I just like named characters.
First of all, they have better aura abilities. So even if they fucking suck, they're still giving out boost to the rest of the units.
Case in point, Azrael. Azrael was okay in 7th. Now he's pretty good. He's pretty damn good. So plus I like named characters. They add a certain amount of fluff and a very easy way to an army, and that's what I want.
You have no idea how many times I threw Typhus into an army in 7th edition, knowing full well that he fucking sucked.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about? Any other points? 8th edition's here. 8th edition's great. Oh, you know what? That new little skirmish game that they're going to bring out. Where it's, I don't know what Chaos gets, but I know I get, Revivers, something like that. They're the guy, they have like skull face, like half masks, and they're kitted out with like combat knives. They're Primaris Marines that are kitted out with combat knives. There's no rules on them yet. They kind of give you a little bit of fluff. They're like pretty much close combat experts. I'm assuming they're going to have something like a sneak rule, or at least like a deep strike kind of rule. And I'm assuming that they're going to be really good in close combat.
I do really like those face masks.
Yeah, they do look really cool. I don't know exactly what Chaos is getting in that box, though.
As far as I could tell, it was just more Plague Marines.
Okay, they're different style Plague Marines?
Yeah.
Different models. Probably the other ones that you would get in a normal box once they start selling them. But also, Primaris they're getting a new captain a single captain and a single Primaris librarian, which looks cool because he has a little bit of a beard. And not a lot of Space Marines have beards for some reason. I don't know why they keep shaving. I wouldn't shave if it was the 31st millennium. I wouldn't care about my facial hair. Be trying to stay alive.
Somebody's a gray wolf.
But yeah, even so, they give you two options with the heads. They actually give you a Space Marine helmet, and they give you the regular face with a goatee or beard or whatever he has. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff that's still coming out. I just want to see what else we can, what else Space Marines are gonna get, and I want to see some more news on codexes. I know this month is probably AOS month because they're gonna release the General's Handbook 2. So maybe next week, or not next week, next podcast. So next month. Or later this month, actually.
Yeah, probably later this month.
Later this month, we'll just double up. We're still going to do once a month just because it's hard for us to even get together to record this the once a month on time. So expanding that any more times would be a bit of a problem. But thank you for listening. Hopefully next time you hear this, we'll at least have some AOS stuff. I'm hopefully gonna get my hands on some Stormcast because that's who I want to play. That or some, or Tony was interested in Stormcast somewhat. So if he's leaning towards Stormcast, I might just go Lizardman. So either way,
I have enough corn stuff to play Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, he's had enough corn stuff for months now, but I do believe this is the end of the episode. Like I stated earlier, you can always rate, review, and subscribe, or rate, review, and subscribe to iTunes. Also, leave us, if you can, a review there for any of our shows. 5 stars are cool, but even if you give us a 1 star, that's something. On iTunes, on SoundCloud, go ahead and follow us by giving us a little heart. And on YouTube, remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that little bell so that you get subscription notices, either on your phone if you have the YouTube app. It'll also send it to your email if you have it there. Speaking of email, go ahead and email us at citypod88@gmail.com, and in the title, go ahead and put 40K. Or something equivalent.
30K AOS, something so we get it.
Yeah, but Warhammer.
Also, we have a couple of Warhammer videos on YouTube where we're doing army showcases. Mm-hmm. So let us know if you want us to showcase your army. We'll bring the camera. You can explain to us your army, how it works, how you like to run it. Show us your awesome paint jobs.
Mm-hmm. Let us know what your opinions are on any of the armies that you're playing. Either in comments, email, anything. When you see us in person, when we're playing against you, go ahead, let us know, just so we can start, including the community a little more, because we are part of Red Star, but unfortunately I don't have a ton of time for games. But like I said, with 8th edition taking up so little time, I think I can maybe get some games in on Sunday as well, so I can get back-to-back Warhammer days. That would be pretty cool. But thank you for listening. My name is Roman.
My name is John.
And thank you for listening to episode 4 of Perils of the Warp. See you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.